Welcome back to You Know My Voice. And today's episode, I have a double platinum singer, songwriter, artist, all the way from Yorkshire, who's worked with the likes of Joel Corry, Sonny Federer, Gorgon City, Tiesto, Dimitri Vegas, and Like Mike, to name a few. It's lovely to have in the studio today, Hayley May.
Hello. Hi. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
It's really lovely to have you here.
Yeah.
I've realised, I think the last time we actually saw each other because life goes really fast was at like Miami Music Week.
I think it was.
It's kind of crazy actually to think about that. The year goes too fast.
It was amazing though. I loved that
amazing.
little trip.
That was
aside
so
from
fun.
the rain, it was like
the flooding of everything. Yeah, that was wild. That was.
Yeah, it was.
I know, climate change is real fast. Anyway, so thank you so much for being in here today. You are an amazing artist. You've done such incredible things with your voice, made an absolute smash. But before we get into talking about the business, can you please tell me a little bit about baby Hayley May? When did you start singing? How old were you?
Like from as long as I can remember, like I've got older brothers and sisters, so they had their own music tastes. My mum had hers, my dad had his. So I really took a mix from everyone. My mum loved Motown and that really connected with me. It was a vocal thing for sure. Anyone I liked when I was younger, I remember it was a voice that I got me. My dad was like Elvis, Buddy Holly, like there was a few like 60s, and I just loved the vocals mostly.
Yeah.
And then my brother liked a lot of dance music actually.
All right.
So for him, me doing this now is quite weird because that was not what I loved then. But he used to he had a tiny box room and he had he DJ'd, so he had all his DJ set up, including a smoke machine. I'm talking a box room. We had a smoke machine. He had light rigs up.
Wow,
it was ridiculous. Yeah.
So was he actually a DJ?
Yeah, he was DJ'd. Not like
professionally,
DJs, but yeah. But he'd do parties here and there, and he'd have a wide mix of stuff. He loved his dance music and he loved electronic stuff, but he also bought for for parties and weddings and whatever. So we used to go down with him on a Saturday morning. After everything new had come out on the Friday, we go to the record shop and he'd just speak to the guy for like a good hour or more about what's come out, what's recent from everywhere. So then he'd buy everything and have a stash of whatever, records, CDs, or both. And then I'd go home. So I had access to all that before they were streaming.
Wow.
So I really, really soaked in so much music. And then my sister had her own taste and stuff. So I got it from everywhere. And like I said, it was the vocals.
Yes.
So even when you get some obscure dance record, my brother, if the vocal was sitting, then that'd be mine. I'd take that, I had the access to it. So
yeah. Are you the youngest then?
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
How many of you are there?
3 of us.
3, yeah.
But they're like way older. So it were like I had 4 parents, they'd take me on holiday here and there. So, it was nice. Like it was great growing up with them.
Yeah.
But I always loved singing and I'd always try and like mimic. And I remember my sister would be listening to me, like trying to sing along to something like, I don't know, I remember Alanis Morissette just springs to mind. And in my little mind, I thought I'd nailed it. Do you know what I mean? Every little run. And she'd laugh and I'd take real offence. I remember even then it wasn't a joke to me. Do you know what I mean? I really thought, oh, am I rubbish? Like sometimes I think that. And it was only when I went to primary school and I was talking to a friend there, no one sort of knew that I sang. And I didn't even know, you don't know.
Yeah.
And I ended up singing for her and her mom when I went round to her house. I must have been about 9. And I made them be downstairs. I went upstairs, but they couldn't look at me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I sang down the stairs.
Oh, wow.
A Boys to Men song, 9-year-old. A bit explicit, but whatever.
Was it End of the Road?
It wasn't. It was I'll Make Love to You.
Even better. At 9.
Yeah. But I loved it so much. You know what I mean? When I sing it, I give it my all. And again, I thought I nailed it. Whether I did or not, I can't remember. But they all clapped for me and I thought, give me a bit of like reassurance that, all right, maybe I'm actually can do it, because I wanted to so much.
Yeah.
And then like the taste obviously changed and time moved on, and I've met people at school and I started loving R&B stuff. Again, the vocal took me there, but then I started loving hip hop, especially American, like rap and stuff. And then and still remains my number one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who's your favourite artists?
DMX is my number one.
Oh yeah, DMX is sick.
Yeah, I mean, I love Tupac, Biggie. There's a lot of rappers that I love now. Jay-Z still, Snoop, but then old school R&B singers as well as old school Motown. I've got my musical taste lives heavily there still.
Yes.
And thankfully for places like Spotify, you can just access it like that. It's just,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Rather than trying to remember and recall stuff, you can actually just go through the whole catalogue. So that is pretty good now.
Yeah.
So then I started singing with some girls at school. We had a little group together and that was great. And when we performed in front of the school, and again, people didn't know really we could sing or anything. And we did this concert and I remember one of my teachers was like, that was amazing. I was like, oh, you know what I mean? In front of all your peers as well, that's a tough crowd.
Yeah.
And everyone was so nice. And we weren't really taking it too seriously, but we were just doing, covers of songs we liked.
Yeah.
And again, it was just another validation that, okay, you're all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can do it.
Yeah. And like fast forward to now, is your brother like really proud? Well, your whole family, but like your brother especially bringing the records home. Yeah.
Because like obviously he's not gone to the levels that maybe he wanted to with the music, so I guess I can take it there. And I know he's an electrician, and when he tests, like he'll fit like new TVs and whatnot into people's houses. And he's like he said, my videos are the testers. Do you know what I mean? When any performances I've got on YouTube or whatnot, he'll use them as like the tester. So
oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. And he actually told me the other day that James Hype is like his favourite DJ. I was like, well, Dave, I know James well.
I know James.
Yeah, I'm going to tell him.
You're going to tell him?
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it, that like I saw James not long ago in the session with him actually. And when my brother like saw it on my story, he was like, oh, you with James Hype? I'm like, yeah. It's weird how just things just become like how they do.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was young thinking, I thought about this the other day, thinking to myself, if I just make a career from music, I'll be happy. I don't have to be famous. I say it out loud. I don't have to be famous. I don't need this. If I can just make enough to survive doing music, I'll be content.
Mm-hmm.
And here I am, and am I content? Well, humans are humans, aren't they? And it's it's funny when you think you get to a level like anything. There's always a next step. It's especially when it's your dream. You can really push it, and you think, okay, my peers are there. Let me just see.
Yeah.
So, but I do remember thinking that. I think, okay, well, at least I've got that.
Mm-hmm.
So I left work, like, was it 6 years ago now? So
let's talk about it, because you burst onto the scene with Joel Corry, Sorry, but you'd done a record for him before. Is that
I'd done
right?
2 before.
Right.
And I'd also done one with M22, which that did well. I got a silver, plaque for that.
Yes.
I did stuff with Just Kidding were the first people I actually did any dance music with.
So how did you meet these people? You moved down to London.
I moved down to London like way before I was doing dance music. I was making a lot of R&B and singing with rappers and stuff, what I wanted to do with some guys I knew. Mm-hmm. They're like, why don't you come to London? So I stayed with my job, just moved from Halifax to London. Mm-hmm. So I was working full time, but I was living with the producer I was working with. So we worked evenings and weekends. That was life, 9 to 5, and then doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
Not making money from it, but loving it. Taking the songs I'd made back to my friends, and they were very much in the R&B type world. Mm-hmm. I guess kind of pop leaning as well, but more soulful and stuff. And I'd make it, go back home, show my mates. We had an MP3 player, and they'd scramble to listen to it. And honestly, it was so fulfilling because they loved them.
Oh, I love that.
And I was just really happy and content doing that, doing my job, doing the music, getting a bit of both. Obviously, your dreams to earn from it, but it was a very content time for sure. And then I met Just Kidding through an old manager, and the song came out, and I wrote it to a piano. I said, can we just strip it back and I'll write to piano, and then we can make it into what it needs to be. Mm-hmm. And it worked, and Spinning took it, and I got a couple of £100 and I was like, oh my God, that's some money. God, it's been years. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. If this is a process, I can do this. It doesn't have to be like a heavy dance tune. I've got to try and write something around it. I can do it to the piano or some keys. And so from then, that's when I started doing the dance stuff, and that's when I was exposed to just a way different world, I guess. Yeah.
So you'd worked with Joel before,
right? Yeah,
and then
so I met Lewis, and Lewis started working with Joel. Yeah, and he asked, "Oh, do you want to be in the session?" So we all got together. We met for the first time together. I think that was the first time we met in person. And I wrote one called "Good as Gold," which came out. Got Radio 1 play, some spot plays. We were buzzing. We're in a group chat together. That was great. And then did another one called "Fallen," and again we got some exposure. Got Radio 1 a couple of plays on there, and it was just exciting, you know. It comes on the radio, like, in the car, I'm like, oh my God, quick, film it, like, send it, you know. And then decided to do Sorry, and obviously I said, I've always loved the tune, the original Monster Boy Denzi tune. So I sent Joel a little voice note, and he's like, yeah, that sounds good. So got in with Lewis and did that, thinking it might do 1 million streams, couple mil maybe, not thinking it'd go to that level, you know, at all. And I was working still when it came out. And it came out in the, I think it came out in the February, is it February? Could be Feb, could be April, around them times anyway. So through summer, it just built.
Big and bigger,
and by August, it was in the top 10. So it took that length of time though. And even now I say to people, like, that is a realistic time frame if it needs to build organically, which it did.
Yeah.
Love Island helped because they showed about 2 minutes. It played about 2 minutes of it. You know, basically the whole song. And after that, like Joel said, it's not because I wasn't tagged as an artist with it. I didn't get any notification, but Joel got loads of notifications about the song. It's being played, you know.
So not featured on that one?
No.
Yeah.
And that was a choice that I made.
And why did you make that choice?
Because I had 2 previous songs with Joel.
Yeah.
So this, a third one comes. Number one, it was a cover, and I felt a little bit funny, but I'd never done a cover before ever. And I felt a little bit, is this authentic enough? Like, you know, is this acceptable? I don't know. And secondly, obviously I've been 2 songs down with Joel already.
Yeah.
We were a duo. I was conscious that could come across like this is it. So I made the choice, obviously not knowing that it's going to chart.
You never know.
And it was really hard to stomach that because, especially when it's your choice ultimately. And it's like, but I thought I did it for the right reasons. And if I had to do it again, not knowing what happened, I'd make the same choice because I just thought, I don't know, I just thought it'd be the right thing to do. But
yeah, you just never know when these things are going to happen. I mean, that's what Carla Monroe said, the same thing about when we were sat here talking about it with MK17. She just, you know, had a break from music and was like, I don't know what this means. And I just have the song kind of thing. And then in hindsight was like, wish I'd put my name on it.
I know.
But that's the thing. We can never know with these things.
No.
You know? So after that kind of blew up, how did things start coming in for you? Did you feel like your phone was off the hook? And
yeah, I mean, not like really intensely, but yeah, definitely was. And because I do remember being at work, I did an office job, I was in the court, the magistrate's court. So I was in a place where I was sort of, you know, like working fully, but then my phone would ring and my manager was, you know, he understood. So I'd take a few calls here and there. And it got to a point then when I was thinking, right, I can't do this. I can't do any day sessions. Like, I'm trying to take days off here and there. I can't do it.
So what was that like when you handed in your notice? Because this is the beginning of you making the dream of becoming.
Honestly, it was a long time coming. It felt like, do you know what I mean? I'd thought this would happen years before. In my optimistic dream world, this was happening way sooner than it actually did. So when it did come, and it wasn't just like that out of the blue. It seems like it, as you know, like it seems like it just from there to there, but it's just not at all. And so I thought, okay, I don't know. It was good, but I don't know. Like everything, when things come true, they feel it's never the same as you expect it to be. But it was great. Then to that next time, I was meant to go on Monday morning, I didn't. This is like, okay, I don't have to get up at 7:30.
Yeah,
great. I don't have to answer any emails, any police officers, magistrates, judges, anyone anymore. I don't want to.
Because so that was nice. You worked in the court service. Yeah. Just in case people are like, what's she?
Yeah. I worked in the magistrates court. I did all sorts of different roles, like in the office and in the court itself. Met so many types of people, you know, like you meet everyone, different statuses, madam, like ladies in terms of the magistrates, to the defendants who you see on a regular basis.
Wow.
Lawyers, all of it. And it was actually, you know, as jobs go, it was pretty interesting. And I used to take my laptop to work and my sound card and stuff. If I needed to do some vocals, sometimes I'd finish early, go into one of the courtrooms because they're like soundproof. Because I live in a flat and it's still now, it's hard doing vocals at home. I'm conscious. But there I could just be as loud as I wanted. So I'd just stay till I had to get kicked out and, you know, I'd record vocals in there. Wow. And in fact, one of them that I wrote there and recorded the top line for, Maya, you know, the singer Maya.
Yes.
Yeah. She took the song.
That's amazing.
Yeah. She took the chorus, I think maybe the pre that I'd done. I think Karen Harding, shout out to Karen, she did a verse. So it was like a mix of randomly. And Maya ended up taking it, singing it and stuff. And I thought, If only she knew this, we're in Court 6, the video link court.
I love that. Court 6. Big up Karen Harding and Maya and Court 6 because that's amazing. I love that story.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And also shows your work ethic as well and how much you wanted this and this meant to you because, you know, not a lot of people would have done that. And you were like, here's my opportunity. I've finished work for today. I'm going to go and record something, which ended up being something. Yeah.
As much as I can be the pessimist, I also think to myself, I've got too much material and I've spent too much time and effort doing this, and for it all to go to nothing, just sit on a computer somewhere. Yeah. I just didn't see the point. I had to make it work. I saw too many people, especially like rappers and stuff that I'd worked with previously, who had just not got there and were close, but then fell off. And I'm like, oh, what a waste. You really had the talent. You really had it. So I thought I have to. Yeah. You know, I have to try. And again, I'm a proud person. I can't be moving to London and come back on my tail between my legs.
You're like, no.
You know what I mean? I couldn't do it. Even though it took a very long time, you know.
Yeah. But you're like, I'm going to come back with platinum discs.
Right. Yeah. You know, that's a goal.
Yeah. So and like, as you know, some of those, you know, rappers that dropped off, how hard and resilient you have to be in this job.
Oh my God. It can absolutely eat you up, can't it? Yeah. As we all know. And you don't know until you're in it. You don't know the level, how it gets you. And no matter what level you're at either, because, you know, I'm not the top of my game by any means. So someone like, you know, I think Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift, someone like that, how they deal with that pressure is just... Yes. And you just think they've got money, so they're fine. That's how people see it. Yeah. And it's, if only that was the answer. So yeah. But it's hard, isn't it? It's all on you. You are the business. You are what everyone's looking at. No matter who's behind the scenes giving you advice and stuff, it's down to ultimately you're the face of it. So it means a lot, you know, to get it right.
I mean, working with some of those like massive names I mentioned at the beginning, so many amazing cuts there. Which one's one of your personal favourites that you love and you love performing? And
let me think. I'd say I love the one I did with Lee Foss and Martin Ikin. It's called Gravity. And I know Alex Mills, shout out to Alex, when I think of that song, because she always plays it in her sets. Oh, nice. Yeah, she loves that song and I love that she loves it. I've got a couple of her songs that I love too, and that's one for her that she loves. And that one I knew Martin. I'd never met Lee before, and he'd emailed me out of the blue. I hadn't really heard of Lee. At that period, I was learning who these people were through working with these people, literally. Yeah.
Both lovely. Yeah. I've worked with Martin myself and Lee also recently as well. Yeah. And just like,
Oh, amazing. Oh, Martin is just, he's just amazing. Yeah, he really is. And we've done a few songs together prior to that. And Lee came like an absolute soldier from LA to London. Me and Martin picked him up in the car. Then we drove from London to Reading, where Martin's other studio is. Wow. We did an 8-hour session. This is Lee on no sleep. Oh my God. 8-hour session. And then we finished that from Reading at night. Like, it was wild. And we got the whole song done, and it's great. But I said to him, you are an absolute soldier for doing this. Yes. Seriously. He's like, I've got a life I've got to do these things. He's got to tour. Like, he's got an amazing house. I stayed with him actually in LA. He lives not just above Malibu in Topanga, and his house is stunning. And it's like, I want to live this life, so I have to do what I've got to do, which is a lot of traveling, a lot of touring. You know, it takes effort. It's not as easy. People think look at people flying from country to country, but it's not. You're not going there just experiencing the culture. It's not like that. No,
actually, you fly to these places and experience the inside of a studio.
Exactly. Yeah. Or just go for a performance and you're straight out again.
Yeah, exactly. And then also you kind of get that fear sometimes. I don't know if you do as well, but like, for example, working with Lee, I had a double session that day, and he was my second session last time I was in LA in November. And you just kind of going, I'm a bit knackered, I'm a bit mash up, but come on, brain, be creative and pull out a song and pull out something which is wicked and pull out something which feels great. And, you know, it's kind of really interesting that we kind of put ourselves through these kind of things to sort of just like creativity on tap and bring something awesome.
Exactly. And, you know, like we're saying with him, his place is so inspiring too. Yeah. And he gets involved in the writing, which I love. Same with Martin.
He's really good.
He is. And he knows what he wants. And it's really hard if you work with somebody who, especially if it's for them and they don't know what they want.
Oh my God.
I am lost then.
I know, it's quite a lot of pressure that. Because, you know, when you're the vocal artist in the room and the top liner, and especially if you're on your own, that's what I was saying with Hayley. It's like, do you know what you want kind of thing? Because am I close or am I not close? And Hayley said they were like, I'll know it when I hear it. And sometimes those are really tough. And especially if you're knackered and you're just sitting there and people are just, the track's on loop and they're just waiting for you to deliver something. So when it's like that, I'm kind of like, I'd rather just send me the track and I'll do it my own time.
Right, exactly.
Then, you know.
When 2 hours has gone by and you're like, no, it's a bit too singer, then it's time for you to do it. You tell me what to sing and I shall sing it. Do you know what I mean? That's where you get to, because I'm like, I don't know what I can pull out anymore. So it's hard. So it's nice when the producer's in the room and they're involved in the writing and appreciate how important that writing is, that the top line. I've been in sessions where it's got to 5, 6 o'clock. We haven't even looked at the vocal yet. You're still picking a hi-hat. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's a lot. I don't know. It's like it's just a secondary thing. Just write something. Yeah, it's fine. I can't. And I'm tired by then, you know, like you've been there listening to a continual loop for 5 hours. Yeah. And now write the song and let's sing it.
Yeah, for me, I actually ended up saying just the sessions I go in, I have to work with musicians, producers who are musicians, because I can't do the loopy thing for ages. No. I need it. Because also, if the chords aren't working, which they don't always do, and you can't develop it, you need someone who's going to be able to switch up the chords. So I love like producers like Steve Minofsky, Lee Tyler, Lewis Gardner, Bertie, like, you know,
love all them.
Yeah, just like amazing producers who are musicians who can be like, let's change it for here then. Let's change the chords here and let's move to here. And obviously Louis Ryan, who we both write with lots, absolutely love him. What a sweetheart. Shout out Louis.
Yes.
But it's just really important because sometimes you need that switch up and that creativity, because also producers can just strip out the chords and just put a drone in, and then the vocal can do something amazing. But if we don't have that soulful creativity, I mean, like I always live off chords anyway. I don't know if that's how you love to write.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I need to be inspired by it.
Yeah, and it's you know, I'm sort of like, they'll play chords and I normally just go with it, but sometimes I am aware that I'm stuck in a place where I can't get out of these same sort of melodies, these same notes. Yeah, you know, I feel that sometimes. So then you need someone to just switch it up, like you said. Yeah, and it does really help.
So when, obviously you've done such amazing features as well, and obviously like everybody knows that's your voice on Sorry. Did you feel like people were coming to you and wanting to sign a Hayley May record?
I don't know. It was a bit difficult because I want really the focus on the song. You know, some people don't know. I saw a comment once on a YouTube video that said, "Oh wow, I didn't know Joel Corry could sing." But
what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This doesn't sound.
You know what I mean? But then saying that, even sometimes if you are named as a feature, you're lost in it. Yeah. Anyway, it's like no one cares, and it's really weird to me because I remember when especially when I was younger, there's a vocal I like. Or any song, I want to know who's singing it. I just wanted to know. Some people do, and I think, you know, sometimes people will message me out of the blue, just random people, and, you know, say such amazing things. And I think, wow, like, because I don't get it. It's not like I'm inundated with that. And I think, okay, there must be some people, and there must be maybe a lot of people that think that and never say it, just don't say it. Yeah. But they're there. Yeah. So, you know, it matters to some people. Yeah. So sometimes you can get lost in your own head and think, it didn't matter, that don't matter. That could have been anyone's voice on there. It would have been just as successful and just the same. You know, that's how you end up feeling sometimes when you feel like not appreciated or not seen. Yes. So, you know, it's a tough one, but.
And have you felt like that quite a bit in this business?
Yeah, I really got a real sense of it, I think, when I performed at the O2 for Jingle Bell Bottle twice and Top of the Pops. And one day we did Top of the Pops and the Jingle Bell Ball on the same day.
Wow,
so we had to be up
what a day.
We had to be up at 6, go to rehearsal for Top of the Pops, get makeup done. Then from there, go to the O2, do a rehearsal for that. Then go back to Boreham Wood, Elstree Studios, which is North London. Yeah. Back up there for like 3 p.m, let's say, do Top of the Pops live. Then from there, straight back to the O2 and do that live.
Oh my God,
I was like,
what a day.
And it was just, my brain was fried. And obviously I'm singing live at both these events. I'm very aware of that. Biggest things I've ever done. Yeah. And
bucket list stuff.
Yeah. And, you know, you've got your idea of how it's going to feel and how it's going to be and stuff. And I don't know, I just felt like, because obviously people get, you know, you're getting interviewed for Capital, but they didn't need me for an interview. I'm not the feature. I'm just a singer, as you know. Yeah. So, you know, come off stage and like, every artist that comes off stage, they go and get an interview. So, you know, we've done the whole thing, the dancers and blah, blah, blah. Then we come down the back stairs And I go that way, and Joel's taken for his interview, and it's like all cameras and lights, and you just think, and you're just standing there like, you've done your bit. That's it, you're done now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you think, gosh, this is not what I thought it'd be. Do you know what I mean? You think it'd be buzzing and people will be interested, and it's just not. And it's like, you're just a singer for this.
Yeah.
So
it's really deflating. I remember when I did More Than Friends, Jingle Bell Ball, and when it was announced, I was so excited because it was such a dream to do, those shows. And again, I was actually really upset because when I saw Just James there, and actually it was me on More Than Friends, my name was actually credited on this record. And I did feel like, what constitutes not getting named? And then there were lots of other DJs on the lineup, and again, none of the features were named unless they were like main artists. Yeah. And it just felt like, what more do I have to do to prove I'm a valuable part of? I'm a valuable part of this in the scene. Yeah.
And what is it going to take away from anyone if the name's there? Yeah. Nothing. Because there's a few instances, I don't know if you've experienced it, where people are like, oh, we'll take the top one, but you can't be named on it.
Yes.
And it's like, I don't get what damage it's going to do to you if the vocalist is just there, just like giving you information, I feel.
Yeah.
So for a listener, it's not taking anything away.
What's your stance on that now? If you have someone approach you and we want the record, but we don't want your name.
Guys, it's a tough one, and it depends who it is. You've got to look, it's business at the end of the day, whatever the reasoning is. It's like, it is business, and sometimes you don't want to feature on a song, but there's a name for a female that don't want to feature or do certain things that people ask, and that's a diva. And you've got a name, and that's what you are. You're causing a problem, and you're blocking stuff. That's how it feels. Yeah. But if they don't want you, that's just business. Yeah, just deal with it. Yeah. And also, don't be a diva and try to be on it. Yeah. And don't be a diva and try to be off it. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot win. Like, and you try, like my manager would say to me, this is business, because I would love to be on everyone's tune, but it is a business at the end of the day, and you're just going to, I don't want to dilute myself either. You're just there. You want to keep it a little bit special, a little bit unique. Yeah. Even if nobody else thinks like you, it's how you feel about certain things. Yeah. But yeah, if there were a song and they didn't want my name in it, again, it's like...
Do you ask why at all?
Yeah, yeah, because you want to be on, you get benefits, numerous benefits, whether it's monetary benefits or the fact that there's exposure and stuff, don't you? So, but then sometimes it doesn't sit with, the lane I'm in, maybe, so I don't mind. Or the Tiesto one, for example, my voice was pitched down on that. So, it'd be great to be named on it. But again, it doesn't really make too much sense. So.
Yeah, it's for it to be on your,
But yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, I don't. It's hard. It's hard until you get the specifics of why. And I've been taken off record before that I was excited I was going to be on. I knew I was going to be on it for a good period of time. I thought, I'm going to be on this. I know I am. I've been playing it to people. We're all in agreement. And then 2 weeks before it's coming out, we've got a new singer. So wow, are you good to sign off on that? I was like, I can't even process this right now. I can't say yes or no, because for a year or more, I've thought I'm going to be on it, and all of a sudden I'm not. And you want me to be all right with that now, right now? And I was like... And
the other thing they were replacing with, is it because their profile was at that moment bigger?
Yeah, and also our connections to the label who wouldn't allow stuff to happen if she went on, or, like certain things. And I'm like, I need a minute. I don't want to be blocking a song. I don't want to be a problem here, because obviously it's a great thing. But at the same time, mentally, I have to know that if this is played on radio, I'm going to be okay when I hear it and not have a breakdown. Yeah. And be triggered by it. So I have to process it and what's for the best and blah, blah, blah. So it took me a minute.
Did you say yes or no on that one?
I did say yeah. I don't think the song would have come out.
Right.
So again, you've got your hands tied behind your back sometimes. And that's not necessarily the producer or who you work with, but the labels as well. They're tying hands and saying, if you don't do this, we won't allow it. So,
and did that song do well?
It did okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Not like, spectacular.
The way that they thought, yeah.
Yeah. But allowed people to have a song to step onto next platform for people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But that was okay. It was fine. It's just, there's so many things that just happen and make you feel up and down. It's a real a real extreme roller coaster, I feel. Because there's just nothing certain.
And you feel like you're being devalued.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Which makes, and I'm very one to really question that. It only takes one person to say something. I'm like, right, let me sit with that and see if is that true? Is that real?
I mean, I think that's the thing. The only decision we have is to say yes or no. And sometimes it might be that seem to rock the boat, or as you said, be called a diva. But then sometimes maybe no is the right answer. And if your name was then kept on it and then maybe it was a smash, it would be like, that was the right thing to do. I mean, like, we just never know. Like you said, we don't know how any of these records are ever going to play out. There's certain songs you can guarantee if we, featured on Ed Sheeran Cut tomorrow, there's going to be a certain level of success it has. But then otherwise, it just comes down to actually just, like you said, just being okay and honouring of the decisions you make and actually living with those and going, oh God, I wish I'd put my foot down, or actually just going, that's fine, I'm going to let this one go because this one's coming.
No, exactly.
But you did get a signed solo U record signed to Spinning.
Two selected, sorry. And also I had one on D for Dance, but that was a while ago. That was a couple of years. That was a solo one.
Yes.
And that did quite well.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one was, well, actually early last year.
Yeah.
Which has just been progressively...
And it's streaming amazing. So it's like 19 million at the moment or something.
Yeah. It'll hit 20 soon. And it's like, that's an achievement in itself.
Yes.
Especially now. The streaming situation is dire at the moment. I don't know what's going on, but it's hard, and that's like a reflection. Well, you feel like it's a reflection. It's a way, if like, for example, someone messaged me and wanted to work with me, well, if I've never heard of you, I'm going to Instagram just to have a look at, that's a CV.
Yes.
And then I'm going on Spotify and see what your numbers are.
Yeah.
But it don't necessarily mean, them numbers don't mean that's how good you are and that's how popular you are and that's your fan base, because the streams are just not correlating.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
So.
But we were talking about this outside, that it's just something, it's amazing that you've got your own record, which is yours, which has got those numbers, which is, as featured artists and vocalists and stuff like that, to have those kind of numbers on your own record.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
But you don't always feel that way.
Yeah. Because like we were saying as well, like certain playlists have a stronger pull.
Yeah.
So it comes down sometimes not necessarily to a fan just wanting to go to your page, but they go to the page of, the label or whatever. But Selected have kept it. It's been in a top spot, and, appreciate them. And obviously people aren't clicking off it because I know there's a certain amount of time you got to listen to a song for it to be registered as a play.
Yes.
And I mean, I do personally love it. I wrote it like an R&B song, slow tempo. I loved it.
Nice.
Sped it up a little. It's got a nice heavy drop, and I do actually really love it. But you hope to get the recognition through radio and, but again, it's a hard one. There's a lot of people competing to get the spot on playlists on radio as well. And so yeah, it's a tough one, but yeah, it's nice to see my page and that's at the top of the list. With the people I've worked with, at least my own one is a top one.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Nice, yeah.
I mean, what is like your dream then? What is Hayley May's dream as an artist? And if you could just literally click your fingers today and then it all happens tomorrow, what is it you're manifesting?
Well, but like an ideal scenario, let's say a live performance would literally just be a piano, a spotlight, and a crowd who knows and loves what you do and gets you as a person, and having the chance to perform in that way and speak to the audience, interact with the audience and get them to know me. Because I remember being young, I used to look for someone who like I could understand and who I thought I'd look to you for some advice in a way, like as an artist, but they seemed so far away before social media. It seemed, the artists are untouchable and unreachable. Now you can really connect with your audience. And I feel like if we're making the music that I really is in my soul, I could do that so much easier. It's hard when you're trying to connect with an audience through someone else's song and in a electronic way. I don't know, it feels a bit more difficult. And if we're talking about what I would love and prefer, that would be it. It would be, the more soulful stuff, really personal, lyrically, and to give it to an audience who want it.
Do you think you would put that out?
I would love to. And I have signed publishing recently, and they are very focused on a lot of R&B and hip hop and that world that I love.
Yeah.
So I know I'm going to have the opportunity to write a little bit more with that, having somewhere to go.
Yeah.
And who knows? And well, actually, if I had to pick something to happen, a feature on, say, like a rapper or someone, like in that sort of world, that would be pretty amazing. I think getting an introduction into that world that way would be a dream. But business is business. It's very linear normally. So to jump to a different audience altogether would be tricky, I guess. But I'm kind of just working it out in my mind at the moment and just sort of coasting along. And I've got some great stuff coming and potential things and great stuff for writing and met new people. And you just never know. The reality is you never know it's going to lead you. You never know. I thought, sorry, might get, like I said, I thought it'd get a couple million. I was listening to it on the way to work thinking it'd be so good if people listen to this. You'd drive to work and it'd come on the radio and I'm thinking, this is a bit mad. Like I'm going to work now, but this is radio time. I never ever expected that.
Yeah.
So you'd never know what's around the corner, which is why I love this industry as much as it stresses me out a lot of the time. I like not knowing. I picked to go to uni because I didn't want a full-time job. I tried to get away from that 9 to 5 routine for as long as I possibly could because that does scare me. Always has. I've always been like worried about a 9 to 5.
Yeah. That's not meant for you at all.
It's not meant for me. It's not. No, I like not knowing. I like being in a different session somewhere else every day.
Yeah.
I don't like the monotony of life like that. So for that, I'm grateful. And sometimes you have to catch yourself when you're in a place where you're feeling low or, you're feeling like stuff's going wrong and then you think, actually, these things I have got are pretty amazing.
That's amazing.
So
I love hearing about what you truly love. I think there's definitely a space for your fan base, which will be growing to discover the you side of things. I mean, do you love recording the acoustic sides of the dance stuff because you get to feel like you're living more in your soul?
Yeah, 100%. And to be honest, that's how I write most of it.
Yeah.
If I go to a session that I'd normally, I don't mind, I'm open to any way of working, but that would be my suggestion. Maybe we drop it to, like I did a Lost Frequencies tune, for example. Mm-hmm. We wrote that at about 85 BPM to some jazz chords, really jazz chords, real jazzy. Mm-hmm. I sang it naturally slow, some melodies, and then we sped it up to 120, took the chords away, and it just worked, pitched my voice down, and it just, I don't mind that, as long as whatever works best with the song, and it did. But I would have never ever got to the melodies if it weren't for them chords. Yeah. And we would never have the song if the chords remained. So I always would suggest to someone, let's slow it right down, because, a lot of, especially when it comes to dance, a lot of it is sampling and a lot of it is soulful, old school songs, full-on songs as well. Yeah. And sometimes you can't get to that key bit until you get the whole song. Yeah, totally. Do you know what I mean? So, as you know, because I feel like Second City tune and your one is just the perfect example of that. That's just taken from such a little bit in a massive
Tony
song.
Braxton's You're Making Me High, which I love.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But I think maybe you should have a Hayley May stripped like EP or album. I know we do it on like the songs, but it would be lovely, I think, even for your fan base to hear your process and hear the way you sing. And there'll be well-known songs. You should do that and put it out and film it.
I know, it's something I have considered and just setting up I just think, sometimes I think, but is anyone going to care to see me sing? But then people are like, they want to see that. And I know I want to see that if someone posts that. So I don't know, you get a little bit inside your head sometimes and wonder, would anyone care? Like,
are you focusing on more you records this year? You just
well, I've got a couple of features like pending, and then some that have been taken. Whether I'll be a feature or not, I'm not sure. But what was exciting to me, like I was saying about, I got my publishing deal last year, first one I've ever signed.
Yeah, congrats.
With Prescription, thank you.
Nice.
They're based in LA and they're phenomenal. And I worked with them for years before I actually signed. But like I was saying, they tapped into that R&B world and hip hop world and K-pop. And so I did a song kind of recently with producer Belfort. And I said, I really want to just write an R&B song. I really do. It's been a long time. I can't remember how to do it anymore. And he loves that sort of music too. So he's like, yeah, right. So I pulled up with some nice chords and just real mellow and wrote that. It was so nice. It was so nice to do it with the intention though of it becoming a dance tune. I said, well, just speed it up.
Yes, and then you
can make it a dance tune. Just for now, let's just make it real, like nice.
Yeah.
So I sent it to my publisher as it was, and he loved it. And he sent it to someone at Def Jam, and they loved it. And then they spoke to someone at Jasmine Sullivan's team, and in fact it's not that, but I'm on their radar, and we did a different song that the team love and she loves, and I am a massive Jasmine Sullivan fan.
She's incredible.
Absolutely.
She's one of the best singers of our generation.
I believe that.
Yeah, in the world.
Well, Lauryn Hill and her come close for me. Lauryn Hill's my number one, but they are close, and for her to, if she takes one, I mean, again, we never know what's going to happen, but my name is in that world and in that circle. And even that, I mean, I don't know how that's happened. And that's just happened just because I just wanted to do that that day, because I didn't want to do dancing that day.
Maybe that's a good sign from the universe for you, though, to trust yourself more and back yourself and do what you love.
Yeah.
Because that's what you were doing this whole time.
Yeah.
You were going from work to the studio, no pressure, enjoying writing the music.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously you end up in this world that we know. And, you know, even for myself, we were talking about it earlier of like my next steps as an artist is just actually just doing more of what you love because it's what you love and it makes you happy, because those can open doors that you never dreamt of if you stay keeping yourself in this lane because that's what pays the bills or whatever. And this, who knows, this could be the opening to the new world for you because you wrote something that you love.
That would be wonderful if that happened.
Yeah.
That really would. But even, you know, even like the encouragement from people hearing that side gives me a little bit of fire that things been, you know, dulled down a bit, because I am working. This is work.
Yeah.
As much as it's all amazing and spontaneous and stuff, it is work. You have to be, you have to perform. You have to go. If you say you do, and I'm one, if I'm doing something, I'm not saying, oh, I can't do it unless there's a very valid reason.
Yeah.
You know, I turn up when I have to. Well, always.
Yes.
If I say I'm going to be there, whether I want to or not.
Yeah.
Which I feel is, you know, it's part of the process, part of your job.
Yeah.
Like, but like, I feel like it's been work more tailoring it to mainly DJs. You know, it is a job and they've got to like it too. And it's not about what you love. And it's like, can you make it less soulful? Can there be less runs? Can they not?
Girl, don't.
Please. Let me just get it out and then delete it. Yeah. At least.
Exactly. Please don't edit me when I'm trying to create. Just let it happen, then we can figure that out afterwards.
Exactly.
I feel
and it's not that I dislike or hate dance music by any means. I like it, and it's definitely given me more love for it, being in it, in the thick of it. And again, when I used to listen to it back in the day, as long as that vocal was strong, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It is the vocal for me that I've got to say. You know, that's what really gets me excited. From any vocal. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people feel like that. Someone like, you know, Teddy Swims, what voice? No wonder is at the success he's at, because the voice speaks volumes to everyone. Yeah. And it's such like from children to, you know, grandparents. It can really, that's why I'd want to be in a space where it could appeal to the mass, not just a little tailored section. You know, that was always a dream anyway. Yeah. When I was young, you know. So.
Well, I hope to hear Hayley May, the R&B collection.
Yes.
Some point soon.
That would be nice.
That would be awesome. Yeah. And what's the rest of the year looking like for you? So you've got the features and things.
Yeah, a couple of features and a couple like people interested and a couple of things ready to come out with some acts in America, especially now signed to Prescription over there. There's more, they're getting different acts. Like I work with Louis the Child and Weathen, who, you know, not really too known in the UK, but in America, massive acts. And, you know, we got that cut away, which was great. And a couple more with people over there. I think another one with Solardo. And then I'll be in LA, like I'm just waiting on the visa getting approved. And then I need to spend time with the people there. I've met people there who are solid, you know, for me. And I feel like that could really be a change in my whole journey, I think. That could really take me in another lane. Yeah. And I'm excited for that, I can't lie. Because I think if I can get in them rooms, a Jasmine Sullivan type room, I think that's where I'll thrive. And I've not been given that opportunity yet. Yeah. And I feel like you never know. And that's why I love it too, because you just never know. It could be the best thing ever. So I want to see this Yorkshire lass slaying it in LA. I know, Jasmine Sullivan. Yeah. It's going to happen. Exactly what I want. Those would be some platinum discs you bring back home. Exactly. I just want to say, Hayley May, thank you so much. Oh, thanks so much for having me. For coming in and it's been really nice. Thank you, and sharing your story. And I'm really excited to hear the music. And I cannot wait to listen to We're Manifesting your Jasmine Sullivan cut. Oh yeah, me too. It's going to be huge. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.